Thank you for that, and thank you for being here. I'm really privileged to share some of my doctoral findings, and I present this in behalf of my supervisors and myself. So I'll be talking about digital experiences of stigma by persons who use drugs in India. A bit of background, we all know users face stigma and discrimination, including in healthcare settings, and these experiences and fear of stigmatization often affect the choices they make towards care. And a lot of work has already been done on stigma with current company here included. But findings on the role of how information and communication technology affects stigma is sparse. Our motivation was basically because in India there's been a recent launch of a national digital health mission, and it encourages a very rampant sort of production and use of ICTs in health. We all know that technology can be good, we can see a positive role, but this study aimed to understand how acts of stigma could influence healthcare access with a focus on the role of information and technology. So my work was mostly qualitative and interpretive work. I studied in one north and one northeastern state. I keep them confidential because the participants, or to protect my participants who were essentially persons who use drugs, harm reduction staff, managers, and consultants who themselves are either current or prior users. Did some interviews, focus group discussions, a cultural probing of how they observe or how they experience digital apps, and also some observations during their workshops. I did a thematic analysis using Neil's iterative categorization, and I built on Goffman's notion of stigma as well as spoiled identity. So we've heard how users are constantly called drug addicts, junkies. In India as well, one of our managers said there's a hierarchy of sorts that depends on the type of the drug one uses. Each type has a name attached to it, he said. Charasi, Ganjari, Goli bars, injection bars. So according to whatever users, the mode in which they used drugs. In parallel, there's a virtual labeling that happens, and we saw that users told us they were hesitant to engage with social media apps. So this Facebook page, for instance, by the National AIDS Control Program, the very act of clicking like or follow on the page made them feel labeled as somebody who was HIV positive. So one person says, of course I know you, I don't know your HIV status, but if she's following the page, oh man, she must be HIV positive. Similarly, negative stereotypes, and we know that there are negative perceptions deeply rooted in our society, and this is also emulated in the staff program design and information content. But this is a screenshot from one of the digital apps launched by the National AIDS Program, and you see, I'll let you absorb this image, and one of my participants had to say, he actually Googled the word thumbs down in front of me, and he said, a thumbs down is used to show that something has been rejected or accepted, or that it is not a success. So I'm already rejected, I'm unsuccessful. And look at the symbol, even the symbol of the watch, it tells me time. You're getting late, you're going to die. Be careful, time is passing by. And he went on to then make a comparison, which was quite strong. It said, 20 years ago, if you came to the National Tertiary Hospital, there would be a paper-sized banner on top of the patient's bed to say HIV positive. This is the same, but it's just a virtual route, he said. And there's then an us and them that happens in stigma, where the society, separates themselves from users. And there's an example of photographs that society sent to the police to then make sure that the police drove away users from the areas, from next to the harm reduction clinics. You also lose social status. Users lose social status and often are faced with violence. It's not uncommon to see villagers from tribal communities slap or abuse users physically, but during the time of my collection, the users were actually speaking about a video that was taken by a bystander of this abuse and then uploaded on YouTube video for everyone to see. So the violence was then, or the stigma and the violence was not located only to their village, but also now available globally. And similarly, an asymmetrical distribution of power that one sees. You can come and talk to me about stigma and spoiled identity, but just to say there's more of a value-sensitive designing that is required when we look at technology. It's not enough for health organizations to just design digital apps and put them out there. Thank you.